When most people think of southern Thailand, they think of places like Phuket and Koh Phi Phi, beaches, parties, paradise, right? But there is just so much of southern Thailand that most people just completely miss. And from here, I'll be riding all the way back up to Bangkok. I'll be traveling through places that most people don't visit and just might change the way you see Thailand. I'm Paddy Doyle, this is my bike Zelda, and this is Betong to Bangkok via the undiscovered southern Thailand. Enjoy the episode. What should I have? Alright then, welcome to the first episode of Betong to Bangkok, where of course we need to begin in Betong. Now I've been here for a couple of days, took a day to recover when I got here after the incredibly long journey on the train. It is such an interesting little spot. Now I'll get to know it better over the next couple more days whilst I'm here filming this video. We're going to go into the mountains, we're going to discover some of its unique history. But what you need to know at this point is this is obviously the most southern part of Thailand. This is the southernmost city or town basically. And it is a strange little hamlet, as you'll see throughout this video. But I'm going to concentrate more on the outskirts and into the nature around this town, because the town is just, it's heavily Malaysian, it's heavily Chinese, because this region of Thailand is extremely historically connected to Malay-Chinese culture. I just checked into my 500 baht a night accommodation, and the ladies who all work there were speaking to each other in Malay-Chinese. And obviously they can speak Thai and English, which was helpful. But this is kind of like the vibe down here. It's very detached from other areas of Thailand, politically and demographically as well. The plan today though is I need to fuel up. So I've come to the most famous breakfast spot in Betong, which is this really big, happening, busy dim sum place. And you just come in and you select your dim sum and you put it on a tray, and then the lady will steam them to perfection. And you can literally go crazy. Yesterday I had like 6 or 7 dim sums. Today I'm just kind of going for 4 or 5. And there's also a really big ultra marathon happening here this weekend. So there's a lot of runners, a lot of trail runners, lots of foreigners actually who are taking part in the race. So you'll see that throughout the video as well, I'm sure, because it's a big event. And I didn't know that they did races down here in Betong, but here we are. Anyway, let's have some breakfast, let's enjoy ourselves, let's get to know Betong, and then at the end of the video we'll set sails for probably the ocean, is what I'm thinking. Okie, welcome to the first location of our discovery of this area, or rediscovery I should say. We're heading to a really interesting part of history in this region, but first there's a beautiful looking hot spring. Oh, it's hot, very hot.ร้อนมาก. I come from England.
English,
London, Chai.
done.
And you come from
Thailand.
Thailand, Yala. Right? Everyone I've met so far, whether it's the people in the hotel, in the restaurants, people here by the hot spring, everyone's very friendly, everyone's very warm, everyone's very curious. What are you doing here? Where are you going? How long are you here for? Giving me recommendations of where to eat. It's exactly the same as every other part of Thailand in terms of everyone who lives here is friendly, happy to see you, opens their hearts and big smiles towards you. Look, let's quickly address the elephant in the room, which is the reason most people don't come down to the deep south. So, the deep south, particularly the provinces of Yala, Pattani, Narathiwat, and to some extent Songkhla, are considered dangerous and are actually on the red list of areas of Thailand not to visit by the UK government and other governments in the West. In fact, if you do come down here, you might have to check your insurance because it might be invalid down here. So just bear that in mind. But why is this? Well, there has been a very long-standing conflict between the Thai government and the separatists who live in this region. So these provinces altogether were once part of a Malaysian Muslim community. So the main issues are history, politics, and identity. And these southern provinces were part of a Muslim Malay sultanate. And some of the people who live here still want that independence in today's world. Now, because I live in Bangkok, whenever I mention that I'm coming down here, especially to my wife and other people from Bangkok, they always look at me with apprehension and uncertainty, like, why are you going down there? Isn't it really dangerous? And the truth is, yes, there is violence down here, but it's mainly constantly targeted towards Thai government buildings and Thai government-run institutions. They don't just randomly attack people on the streets, and most of the violence is never targeted towards foreign tourists. And yes, there have been bombings and attacks over the many years, especially whilst I've been living here. It's come up in the news from time to time. But my lived-in experience of coming down here, I'm here to tell you that it's just like any other part of Thailand. It's beautiful, the locals here are friendly, and I love coming down to this part of Thailand because it is so remote. You can have a really good experience in this part of the country. There are issues almost everywhere, right? So it's just part and parcel of the lay of the land and something I needed to point out. I just saw a waterfall on the side of the road. I mean, how can I not stop here? A little oasis. Doesn't seem to be part of a national park, so it could be a good spot for a little dip. There are lots of kids there having the time of their life. This looks so beautiful. When I head out for the day to film and explore, one thing I always bring is a pair of swimming shorts, just in case I find a roadside waterfall just like this. There's been so many times where I've been so desperate to get stuck in and swim. Right, let's get across this stream and let's jump in this waterfall. So epic. สวัสดีครับส้มตำเหรอโอ้ส้มตำปลาร้าโอ้เผ็ดมาก Enjoy อร่อยไหม That somtam looks spicy and packed full of blara, fermented crab and fish sauce. Not for me, but alas, we continue. gonna shoot the fish. Or just two kids with spear guns heading into the forest. Nothing to see here. Oh, that was so refreshing and fun. And I think it's time to get back on Zelda and continue exploring the mountains of Betong. But just quickly, I want to say a massive thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace, the perfect place to go if you need to build a website. I built my website on Squarespace and it could not have been easier. I chose one of their award-winning templates and then I just amended the text and pictures and added things that I needed. And I've been selling products that I've made on my website for years now. And it's a great way for me to expand my business. Squarespace even utilize the power of AI with their design intelligence. You just answer a few simple questions and the AI will think about what your website should look like, how it should feel, and it will tailor and custom make the website particularly to your needs. There's also a fantastic Squarespace app so you can post to your website when you're traveling just like I am today. Click the link in the description or go to squarespace.com/Paddy Doyle to unlock 10% off your first website or domain. Right. Thank you to Squarespace, and me and Zelda are going to continue our exploration and hopefully dry off a little bit after getting wet in the beautiful waterfall. Now I understand that this area of southern Thailand isn't the most practical place to travel to if you don't have a motorcycle and if you can't drive a motorbike. You can of course rent a car, and of course you could rent a tour guide to take you all around this region of southern Thailand. But if you have the ability to rent or purchase your own motorcycle, and if you have the experience and the license to, I cannot recommend driving around southern Thailand any more than on a motorcycle. Even if it's just a little Honda, you know, I'm not going super fast, but these roads, the way they twist and the way they turn and the way they hug these mountains, and it's like this the entire way through the south, along the coast, into the mountains, into the national parks, and down here in the deepest parts of this forest, and it is just so beautiful. And this is what the road surface is like across this entire country. It doesn't matter if you're in Bangkok or out in the provinces, it's a carpet, it's tarmacked, it's well signposted. The main worry is trying not to crash while you admire the beauty all around you. Okie dokie, welcome to what is probably the most interesting part of this region of southern Yala. So behind me is the Pyramid tunnels, and this is a very interesting set of tunnels that was used during a guerrilla warfare against the Malaysians and the British. Now, it's set deep in the dense forest of this area, which means there's two really interesting parts of coming to this tunnel system. The first is obviously the jungle that these tunnels are built into. This was very dense, thick bush, hence why it was great for hiding and fighting a guerrilla warfare here. Very thick, dense trees and bush and forest, and so exploring the tunnels, you do so by going through the dense jungle, and that is a really beautiful experience in itself. And then you reach the tunnels, and that's where you start to learn a little bit more of the history, and you can start to imagine yourself being a Malaysian soldier at the time fighting against the British, right? Quite an interesting, unique part of Thai history. You could argue it's Malaysian and British history, but it happened here in Thailand. Okay, so let me go show you a little bit more and I'll explain some more of the history. So it's quite interesting. Just bear with me on this section. Honestly, it's really, really unique, and it feels great to be back here because last time I was here, I really enjoyed it and I saved it and vowed to come back to see more and learn more. So yeah, at the time, it was the Communist Party of Malaya, or the CPM, and they were fighting the British as well as the Malaysian government forces later on. And so the guerrillas built these tunnels to give themselves protection from the airstrikes and the patrols, give themselves hidden bases deep in the jungles and the ability to disappear quickly, because obviously the helicopters were flying around this region, and if they saw smoke or village life, they would bomb it. So they built these tunnels, and as soon as they heard the Chinooks and the British coming, they would run and hide in the tunnels. Now there was fighting happening here up until the 1980s, which is crazy because obviously I was born in 1986, and so people of my father's age were here fighting the British in southern Thailand. It's all very surreal. Now obviously if you want to see and learn and experience more about this conflict, then this short section of my YouTube video is not going to do it justice. Come here in person. Not only do you get to enjoy the wonders of Betong and the people and the waterfalls and everything else that comes with this area, but you get to come here and see it, feel it, and learn about it in much more depth. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little section of the video. I'm going to get back on Zelda and just keep driving and see what we can find. These mountains are mysterious, wonderful, but most importantly, incredibly beautiful. As I'm driving around these mountains, there's a very fragrant, recognizable smell in the air. And I've been thinking, what is that? And I keep getting whiffs of it. And I've just realized that this entire forest is actually a durian farm. And all of these trees here, these beautiful trees, they have a strong whiff, or just the general smell of durian anyway. I'm sure you guys are aware of durian. It's the largest fruit in Thailand, I think. Maybe just made that up. But here it is, growing in its infancy. These are just tiny little durians. Crazy to think that these are going to grow into huge ones. Now it is durian season, so these trees are either a little bit behind because they haven't had enough water or sun for the season, because they're selling durian all over the place. In fact, I might like to try again, because I've given durian a few attempts, never really enjoyed it, but maybe this area grows a durian that I can handle. There's also avocados here. They're farming avocado. These are avocados, right? They have to be. Absolutely delicious. So cool that all of this expensive fruit, because durian is not cheap, and avocados, as you know, in the supermarket. Woo! And they're all just growing here on the side of the road.
So, after a long day exploring the mountains and the roads, the waterfalls, the tunnels, and meeting the locals out here in the countryside surrounding Betong, it was time to head back into the town and soak up some of the afternoon vibes, enjoy a good sunset, show you some of the local night markets here, and then I'll sit down and have some local food for dinner and give you my final thoughts on this strange and wonderful town.
So cool. Okie dokie, it is time for a well-deserved local dinner. Now, on this road trip, as I head north back towards Bangkok, I will try my very best to highlight some dishes, some foods that are unique to that region, to that province, or to that town. And today, I'm going to highlight Betong chicken. This is a very unique dish that they serve here in Betong, and it's called Betong chicken. What is it, you might ask? Well, it's massive amounts of boiled chicken with the skin on, swimming in soy sauce, like absolutely swimming in it. I will try my best to highlight some unique foods for you on this tour, because let's face it, we've all had a pakapao, right? We've all had a masaman. But in the south, there'll be lots of unique flavors and lots of unique dishes that I will share with you. And the first being Betong chicken. So how is it? It's boiled chicken. As far as destinations go, Betong is worth coming down to, and I decided to give it its own episode because it's the beginning of this adventure, it's the start point, but it is a really unique place. As you've seen, it's surrounded by beautiful mountains, the roads are idyllic and just so much fun. I had so much fun off camera, just driving around those mountain roads, looking into durian farms and speaking to a few more locals and spending a lot of time off camera with those Thai people at the waterfall. And just, soaking up more of this atmosphere of Betong. Betong is a strange town. There are certain aspects of this that I can't show you. There's a lot of seediness here. There are like an abnormal amount of massage shops. And I don't mean normal Thai massage shops. I'm talking about ones that are called banana massage, okay? They seem to serve a lot of the Malaysians who nip over the border to get themselves into mischief. Instead of having to fly to Bangkok and go to Pattani for the weekend, a lot of Malaysians seem to come to Betong and get up to no good. There are lots of brothels, there are lots of lady bars, and it's all a bit dodgy, to be honest, on lots of these streets. So I'm not going to film any of that, but it is quite a seedy little town, which is quite strange when you think about how conservative and how Muslim the deep south of Thailand is. But these border towns always have kind of like a anything goes type of atmosphere, whether it's the Cambodia or the Myanmar or the Malaysian border towns. They're all a bit seedy, but as you've seen in this video, there's so much natural beauty and great people and great food that Betong in its own right is worth a visit for sure. Tomorrow we're going to wake up nice and early, pack up our bike and hit the road and head towards the ocean. I'll be trying to reach the province of Narathiwat, where there are beautiful beaches, lots of delicious seafood and really unique culture. And if you'd like to watch that episode, you can right now by clicking here. Thanks for joining me on today's adventure, and I'll see you in the next one right now, and I'm going to share it all with you, so please join me. And if you subscribe, you won't miss a single adventure.